Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is me, Justin, here, back with another video on my channel, back with some new content. And today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be discussing really just my thoughts on the Pistons preseason games, really just the things that I've been seeing so far, just in terms of, like coaching adjustments, who's playing, the shots players are taking, who I feel is playing good, and who I feel can improve. So yeah, really just the first thing that I want to say is it is preseason, so it's honestly not too exciting. Obviously, it's exciting that basketball's back and everything, and we get to see these guys in action. But what I mean is really just there are a lot of guys that play a lot of minutes in the preseason, and there are a lot of shots that go around. So when you look here at the statistics, to me it just looks kind of lackluster just because so many people are playing so many minutes, and it's the preseason, so I don't think these guys are really out there going 1,000%. They definitely want to get their bodies prepared and stuff, but they don't want to get injured going into the season. But just looking at the plain base stats here, starting with minutes first. So as you can see, Jeremy Grant played the most minutes, followed by Blake Griffin, and then Killian Hayes played the third most minutes, which I was actually really excited. I love that Dwayne Casey, was kind of signaling him out, getting him more minutes, which I liked. But a big thing that I really didn't like this preseason was just the fact that Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart actually only combined for about 17 minutes a game, which to me is honestly just pretty disappointing. When I was watching the games, Saddiq had that pretty good debut game against the Knicks, and all throughout the preseason, honestly, Stewart didn't really, show me anything that I could really get too excited about, just due to the fact that he was only getting about like 7 minutes a game, which, like I said again, it's pretty disappointing. It's the preseason. It's a time that I wish I could have seen the younger guys play a little bit more, especially the rookies and the guy that you took 16th overall. So yeah, just kind of weird to me that Stewart, just really wasn't utilized too much. Would have liked to definitely see him just a lot more all around in the preseason, but it is what it is. Really, I just feel like we'll have to wait and see for the regular season, and just with the rotation, guys like Grant and Plumlee, Blake. We'll just have to see, how Stewart really just fits into this team as a whole. But yeah, just kind of disappointing that the preseason just gave us like no indicator to where he was gonna fit in, which is like one of my biggest questions on Stewart. The fact that he is a big man, that really in college didn't show me that he could, shoot that well. People constantly bring up his free throw shooting and his form, but like I said, I'm just gonna have to see it. It's a guy that I'm just constantly just gonna have to say that, just because we did take him 16th overall for a reason. So yeah, would have definitely liked to see him be utilized a little bit more, but it is what it is. Saddiq Bey, in the minutes that he played, really he was looking solid. I felt like I said before, had that nice debut game against the Knicks, was knocking down some threes, and really that's what I'm expecting for his rookie season. I don't think he's gonna pop off or anything his rookie season. Neither Killian, I don't think either. I think Killian might just come out, have a little bit of a slow start to his season, maybe just a slow season in general. These are guys that they do need to get the feel of the NBA and just the flow of the offense and different things like that. But yeah, in the minutes that Saddiq played, I felt like he was pretty impressive. Same thing with Killian. Killian was definitely showing it a lot on the defensive end, I felt like. And over time, to me, his offense, it'll come naturally to him, just like I've been saying, getting more comfortable in the NBA. And the next guy I want to talk about is one of the newest additions on this team, one that I was actually pretty excited for, a Michigan native, and that is Josh Jackson. To me, he was showing some flashes. He was showing that he can be, a viable threat from the three-point line, which is always great. And on the defensive end, he wasn't looking too bad either. I know in the New York series, he had a few tougher matchups with Toppin and Barrett, but Yeah, all in all, I feel like, though, in the preseason, he actually played pretty solid. This is a guy that I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like he can actually get some meaningful minutes going into this season. So that's something that, I'm excited for. If he can keep showing it on the defensive end, showing that potential, that'll definitely catch Dwayne Casey's eye. That's what Casey looks for the most, in my opinion. So yeah, Jackson, to me, it was a pretty impressive preseason. Obviously, I'm not going to dive too deep into guys like Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. Two guys that I felt like, looked solid, obviously. They weren't getting, the most the most volume that they would in the preseason. But that was just because, there was a lot more shots going around. But yeah, those two guys, they look fine. Really what I look forward to them doing most this season is kind of just, looking after the younger guys. Rose has got Killian and guys like, Jackson, and to look over. And Blake can obviously help with the development of guys like Bay and Isaiah Stewart. So yeah, those two guys, they look solid per usual. And the next two people that I want to talk about are two of the newest additions on the team. The two former Nuggets, and that is Jeremy Grant and Miles Plumlee. Grant, to me, this preseason, he was looking pretty shaky at times. Didn't look the best, just really throughout the whole entire preseason. But honestly, as time goes on, and, he just gets more comfortable in the offense and, in Dwayne Casey's system, I feel like he'll be fine, especially with the fact that he's going to be seeing a lot more volume this year, from his previous teams. Last year he was on the Nuggets with Jokic and Murray. Years prior to that, it was OKC. So yeah, Grant is honestly not a guy that I'm too worried about that was struggling this preseason. Like I said before, as the season goes on, he'll find his role on this team, and really he'll just get the hang of things. And I'm definitely excited to see what he's going to do this season. And Mason Plumlee, on the other hand, a guy, I felt like he looked solid in the preseason. He is what he is, really, at this point. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. As you guys know, I'm really not a huge fan of that signing. And just because of the fact that we did just draft Isaiah Stewart. But he looked fine in the preseason. And he'll be fine in the regular season, I feel like. The next two guys that I want to talk about kind of not remind me of each other, but they kind of just have, I don't want to say problem, but kind of like the same dilemma, just with their confidence, and that is Sekou and Civi. These two guys really, I felt like I seen, just a confidence boost within both of them in this preseason, and I really love that, especially Civi. He seemed like he was taking, a lot more shots than he usually would. And that's just great to see, especially, like I'm saying, in preseason. It's good to see, a guy get his confidence and utilize that when he plays. Same thing with Sekou. Really, these two guys they're projects, especially Sekou, him being only 19. Actually, he's 20 years old today, actually. So, yeah, he's still a huge project. But, yeah, those two guys really, I would just like to see, more and more confidence just grow within them as the season goes on. And really, they look fine in the preseason. So, all in all, I felt like it was a pretty successful preseason. There was a lot of things that I would change. But, there was things that I liked, too. The defense, just as a whole, was looking a lot better as a team. That's something that I obviously really love to see, just with the addition of guys like DeLon Wright, Jeremy Grant. The defense is, obviously due for improvement. So that was a good thing to see, and hopefully that can, kind of shed onto the regular season. But if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys watching. It means so much to me, means so much to my channel when I know that people enjoy my content. So if you like this video, like it, comment. I reply to all comments. I'm open to any discussions, so feel free. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. and I'm out.